is if the roles were reversed and Messi won the treble and Haaland won the World Cup, Messi will still win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. But you've brought in players that, one, you're not even starting anymore.
Yeah.
Two, you can't find a plan for them. You know what I mean? And three, some of them just, are they good enough to pay for Man United is very debatable.
Mason Mount, you buy him, yeah? And, okay, cool. Injuries as well. But you haven't even given him 5 games to play.
Yeah. Mason Mount must be. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Scoop. It's myself, Culture Cams, and of course, 2 weeks in a row,
I told you.
I'm finally joined by Harry Pinero.
I'm here.
You know what I mean? Like this is unbelievable. When was the last time we done 2 weeks in a row?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Bruh.
That sounds a bit crazy.
You know. But listen, and we are joined by a special guest. Of course, he's been on the show already, a friend of the show.
Come on,
Mr. Avelino.
We're here, man. We're here. It's an important day. It's a serious day.
It is.
And I'm looking forward to speaking truths about my beloved club with my brothers.
Yeah.
Who also love the football club.
Yep. Yeah, nah, for real. But guys, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, turn the notifications on so you're always up to date with this content. But listen, as I've said, it's not been a good week.
Nah.
As you know, we're all United fans. You know, we don't always try and get a United guest, but we had to bring in a United guest this week because, listen, it's serious. It's therapy.
Yeah, serious, man.
It's therapy, man. I've already ranted and blasted this football club, but I know you guys have a lot to say. But I don't really want to talk too much about the game per se. I want to ask you guys, like, what is next for Man United? What's next? Like, what's the future looking like for this club at the moment?
I think everyone can see it's very bleak for Man United right now.
Yeah.
Because not to say the same thing over and over again, but it has been 10 years where we've been in this same situation, same scenario, with countless managers walking in the door and leaving out the door with nothing but trophies that I guess we don't even consider as Man United trophies, with all due respect. I feel like we've had a very crazy summer and leading up to where we are right now in the league with potential buyers from the Qataris to Sir Jim Radcliffe and all of this stuff, I guess, has just been in the background and it's been, I guess, polluting a lot of Man United's fans' mind because we know that if we get this, it's essentially a change that we're looking for. But because I always say Man United from the top, that is the issue. It's what happens on the field is a separate issue. But at the top, in any business, in any walk of life, if that is not right, everything else filters down. And I feel like because it's been a mess, you see the way we recruit, you see the amount of money we spend on signings, the players that we buy, the way that everything that happens bad in the club gets leaked to the press. So I believe, until things change in terms of ownership in the club, we are going to be being in the same position week in, week out about, it was this, it was that. It's just, for me, I think as a business, as a club, we've lost the essence of what Man United is. We were powerhouses of football because of what we've done on the pitch. Now we are genuinely a business. It's a business model that is there to literally, make money, but we don't do nothing well on the pitch. And as a fan, I don't care about how much money my club makes. I want to see 3 points every week. So for me, I just feel like it's going to be bleak for a very long time. And as fans, we just have to accept it. That's the reality.
And I feel like,
but what do you
just to add to what bro's saying, I feel like, so we were speaking the other day and I was thinking about, I was like, because I was talking about the owners, I feel the same. And I'm like, and then a fan said to me, "Well, you lot always have money to spend in the summer." And it made me think, what do we actually mean by, when it comes to the owners, when we blame the Glazers? And I'm like, I could be wrong. I don't think I am. But these lot are pure businessmen. They don't care about football, which could be fine. But the problem that we face at United with having owners that not too bothered about football is that United, I just checked now, are, second to Real Madrid, in terms of valuation. Always one of the top earners in football. So football performance doesn't actually affect what Man United are making. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So if you're just straight businessmen and don't care too much about the football, and the football performance doesn't affect the fact that your club's turnover was always a certain amount and you're making a certain amount of money, then for fans that love the game, like you said, just want to see 3 points and want to see a top football performance, it's not in your best interest to try to make this business, produce the best football we can possibly make. Now, we've done this whole sacking managers over the years, and let's look at two clubs that that's worked for, Chelsea and Real Madrid. The common denominator that they had was Florentino Perez and Roman Abramovich absolutely loved the football club. You just got to watch the David Beckham interview to see how much pride Perez had in his baby Real Madrid. You get what I'm trying to say? So that he's gonna, no matter what the club's making, it's almost like a bragging right, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna make sure Real Madrid is always at the top of Spanish football. Do you get what I mean? So, but obviously the Glazers won't have that sort of emotion towards the club because the football performance doesn't affect what they're making, you know. So they can have this kind of cold approach. They're at a few games a year, if that. Do you know what I mean? So to develop on that now, you know, I believe Ten Hag's doing all the signings himself.
He has a lot of control over the signings. A lot of control,
and it's like, look, I do music. There's a lot of sick producers. I'm making an album. I got to go and get the right executive producer. Why? Of course, I can just do my thing myself. I'm talented. But if I get the right executive producer, it's not about all the sick producers that are out there. He can help me. Our shared vision can help get the right producers for this project. So, of course, Ten Hag, he's a good coach. You know what I mean? Of course, he, you know, might have a good idea as to what he wants to achieve. But, you know, if you have the right, you know, the right setup around him, technical directors, all these sort of people for recruitment, you know, amongst all the players, we've signed good players, amongst all the players, you have a better chance of getting the right players for whatever the project is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And, you know, I believe that sort of further explains to Manchester United fans why we say the owners and the Glazers are a problem. It's not a buzz sort of phrase. It's deeper. It's
facts,
like, you know, it's not about players. These are world-class players we've been signing over the years. Is Pogba a bad player? Is Di Maria a bad player? Is Falcao a bad player? Is Casemiro a bad player? Is Varane? All these footballers, they're not bad players. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Is Van Gaal a bad manager? Is Ten Hag a bad manager? All these managers, they're not bad managers. So let's really look at the actual issue, and it starts from up here. You know what I'm trying to say? For those reasons, I believe.
Like, but do you think there's sometimes there's a lack of accountability on the managers' parts as well? Because obviously, okay, the club should have a structure, and we've known that. And listen, the talk about the whole Jim Ratcliffe thing and stuff. Look, well, no matter what people think of Jim Ratcliffe, listen, I don't have any high thought or opinion on him. But if the talk of him wanting full control and wants to bring in a sporting director and wants to do all of that is true, then we kind of just got to get behind that. You know what I mean? We kind of got to support that vision, because at the end of the day, he's a Man United fan, blah, blah, blah. I think he will want best for the club. I don't think he will sit there and think, okay, this is another money scheme, whatever. I think he's 70-something. He probably just sees this as a last hurrah for business in his life. Let's be honest. And he might just want to see Man United back on the top. So maybe that structure side can get fixed, which is why I'm not out here saying Ten Hag out. Because if Ten Hag gets sacked, another manager will come in and we'll be in the same situation.
100%.
But my concerns are, which I've mentioned before, is that 400 million has been spent. Now, I don't really care too much about figures of money. It's more about who you bring in. The figures, whatever happens. But you've brought in players that, one, you're not even starting anymore. 2, you can't find a plan for them. You know what I mean? And 3, some of them just, are they good enough to pay for Man United is very debatable. So as much as we say the structure, are we basically saying that every signing that Ten Hag has made, if we had a sporting director, it wouldn't have happened?
No.
They still, a lot of them still would have come to the club and what would he have done with them?
I think what it is, though, there is, like you said, you're right, the accountability has to be there, because Ten Hag's, some of the signings that he's made, I think have been based off, you know, what's happened in the past at teams that he's managed. We look at Anthony. He was an exciting prospect at Ajax, come to Manchester United, and it's been a total, honest shit show. Yeah. Lisandro Martinez has been a great signing for me. I think he showed that he's a great defender. It's just injuries and so on and so forth. Casemiro, we all know what he can do as well. I just think the team that Manchester United have anyway was always lackluster anyway. We've always been saying that we need a team to compete. When we look at all the other teams in the Premier League that are doing well, you can see 11 for 11. You'd prefer more teams than United. So I don't think that it's a sporting director thing. I just think currently with our crop of players and the style of football that he's trying to implement with United, it just doesn't work with the players that we have.
But he came through and he said just this week, he said, I can never play the football that I played
That's
at
cap
Ajax.
though, because when he first came to United, he was basically saying that's what he wants to do.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I think pressure. Do you know what it is?
Is he cracking here, bro? Because that sounds like you're kind of throwing in the towel a little bit.
I think the pressure's got to him because look, reality is, you've come into a team, you've seen them play when you're not managing them, and you think, you know what, I can change that. And everyone's got confidence to do that, which is you should have that. And the first season went really, really well, in my opinion, in terms of where we finished and so on and so forth. Season 2 now, I think there's been something in that dressing room for me isn't the same as what it was last season.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot of mentality shifts. And the reason why I say mentality shifts is because there was something that we saw last season when, we would go 1-0 down, but we'd come back and we'll change the game, and you thought, we just need to get better at this.
Yeah.
I think that we've rinsed that now. And I think teams have figured us out so much so that whenever we play against teams, we look like we're the away team. We look like we're the lesser team. And I think it's very difficult to try and implement a style of football when the players, so to speak, are not giving their 100%.
But why wouldn't they give their 100%?
That's something that we've seen for years,
so-
bro. It's mentality, bro. Like I always say, bro, like, for example, we watched that Beckham documentary.
Yeah.
He is genuinely one of the greatest players of all time, Capello didn't want him. Glenn Hoddle put him out there like he was a problem. Sir Alex Ferguson said he need to go. Not once did you see him not train hard. Not once did you see him not give his 100%.
Yeah.
We've got players that genuinely, because of the way we've put them on a pedestal, believe that they shouldn't be working hard enough. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford, Sancho, the lot of them, they're in an environment that is so. It's like you're being babied.
Yeah.
And there's no one that's better than you in your team for your place to go. So you're always going to play.
But does the thing is, with that, Ten Hag, like with the Rashford situation, he basically said that no matter what Rashford does, he's going to play him through till he gets on form, basically. And basically alluded to he never really comes off, and he's going to keep it that way. Now, if you're Sancho, who I'm sure with the reports coming out, that he's fuming that Anthony was always getting opportunities and stuff. If you're Sancho and you're sitting there, or if you're just a player sitting there and you hear and you see Rashford with 1 goal this season, okay, he's the only guy that in our attack that I've scored, fair enough. But you see him 1 goal, playing so poor, and then you hear the manager say, no matter what, he's going to play through. And then you sit there and you're like,
Sorry, it's definitely different.
Thank you. There's inconsistency then, isn't it?
The reason why I say there's a slight difference is because Rashford just had a 30-goal season, and for any forward, a 30-goal season is a great season. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So he has earned extra leeway in that area. Do you get what I'm trying to say in that regard? And just speaking on the Sancho situation, I wasn't there. I don't know the ins and outs. Sancho may well be right in certain things that he's saying. Do you know what I mean? It's very possible, but at the end of the day, it's in Sancho's best interest to assess his own football performance. And I would say if he had a genuine assessment of himself, he would say that when opportunities were put in front of him, he maybe never gave his best level. Agreed. Because to me, Sancho, people think I'm crazy for saying it, but to me, Sancho has one of the best talents in world football. But he's not in a conversation of the best footballers in the world. And that's based on performance. So I've seen Sancho on the team sheet.
Yeah.
And he hasn't grabbed his opportunity with 2 hands. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's the difference. Cool, I hear it's a bit much to say, Rashford will never come up, etc. But the difference between the 2 players is one just had a 30-goal season, which to any forward in football history is a good. It's a really good. It's a really good return.
Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, and in terms of the mental side of the game, it seems to be the big problem.
Massive problem, brother.
And like
massive, man.
At times I do feel for the managers of Man United, because this ain't just a straight like being a good coach or good tactician, all these things ain't enough to manage Manchester United. Maybe Brighton or Ajax, where these young players have motivations such as getting their big move and changing their families' lives. There's different motivations, you know what I mean, to get to the top. These young players at Man United, this is their big move. They're 22 years old and 300 bags a week. You know what I mean? So it's more than just I'm a good coach or I'm good at tactics or whatever it might be. It's how do I find the motivations for these young men to show up every time and to work to getting people to work together in harmony is one of the most difficult tasks of all time in any industry. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And if you don't believe me, give it a go and see how you do. So getting a group of and not even just that in terms of the young players. Also, there's this almost unspoken thing between people where it's like, it's also difficult as a manager if you haven't won Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues, and you're managing Varane, Casemiro, which is probably why Arteta walks into Arsenal and has to get rid of Ozil, and part of the reason, and Aubameyang and all these people. And it's probably part of the reason why Zidane could walk into that Real Madrid dressing room and guide them to Champions League trophies with no managerial experience.
Yeah.
Because it's that unwritten thing where it's like an ego to ego. I respect you. You've done what you've done. I can almost trust you. You know what I mean? So it's like if I get, I don't know, Dr. Dre to executive produce my album, there's certain decisions that I might just trust him with because he's Dr. Dre. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's that level of...
But
when you don't have that,
these players ain't won that much to not be respected
and
the manager.
And if it's not the winning,
if
it's not the winning, it's the salaries.
It's the prop that we give them.
Those two things. If it's not the winning, if it's not the credentials, it's the I'm on this amount. I mean, so those credentials could almost
elevate it.
So
their level.
It's a big problem.
Also, when I watch United play, I see an inconsistency in how we press. An inconsistency in how we play football.
Who's that down to?
It's down to for me. I'm sorry, it's down to the players, bro.
You think that?
Listen. We start. Perfect example.
I think it's 50. I think
it is 50. No, look, Ten Hag is definitely not an innocent person in this situation.
Yeah.
But look at this. The first 6-7 minutes of the game against City, we showed what we can do. Yeah. We was pressing. We was working as a team, and it's like we stopped. Yeah. That's not Ten Hag's fault. Because if that's how we start, that's something we've thought about in training. That's something we've actually worked on. But then there's something about us as a team that when push comes to shove, we run away from the challenge at hand. We made that game so much easier for City than it needed to be. And I think you can't sit there and say to me, yes, there's decisions that we have to look at. Amrabat coming off a mount, Varane not starting, like these situations. But then if he gets it right, there's no problem. But that's down to the players, bro. That is 100% down to the players. And I believe, that what Av is saying is true. It's like, you get me. The culture at Manchester United is we sign a player, we give him what he wants before he's done what he deserves to do. And I don't think that that's something that is gonna change anytime soon, because I believe as a business, for example, you sign someone like Varane, you're gonna give him whatever he wants because shirt sells. You sign someone like, you extend Rashford's contract because 30 goals a season. Wow, you know what? Let's lock him in. But in other teams, bro, you can score 30 goals a season and Pep will still sell you the next year because he feels like we need to get better.
And it's not like Rashford scores 30 goals.
Bro, and
the season before that, he scored 4 goals.
Ilkay Gundogan interview.
Come on, man.
Explains everything, bro. But the guy, El Clasico, they've lost. He's come out speaking to the media. He can't believe the dressing room is just there. This man, he just won the treble. He won the Premier League like 20,000 times. And he cannot comprehend the attitude in that room. He doesn't register with him. So that shows us, that backs up what we're saying in terms of the fact that the football's one thing, the mindset, the mentality.
But then to counter this though, wasn't Cristiano Ronaldo saying this?
Yeah, he was, but
and didn't.
The thing is,
do you know what I mean? Don't get to it. The reason why I say it is because, one, I think Ronaldo manufactured his departure. In it, I think he always wanted to leave before he even met Ten Hag. He done that Instagram post saying all will be revealed soon or some madness. So he never was really locked in, but Ronaldo did come out and say the young players don't listen, the standards of this club isn't good enough, and realistically, Ten Hag was kind of using Ronaldo as a tool for none of you can mess with me because look what I'm doing with Ronaldo.
I think you have to do that as a manager because it's like.
But then you lot are praising what Gundogan said. No, but Ronaldo was saying that.
The thing is though, Gundogan has come from a team where he's never.
Ronaldo's one of the greatest footballers.
Yeah, but you come back to Manchester United 10 years later or however long it was later. I think with Gundogan, you have to look at it like this. He was part of Man City's dominance in the Premier League. So you're looking at the highest level of challenging for trophies in Europe, and you've won all of them in your last season at Man City. You then go to Barcelona, you're at the El Clasico, a derby, and you lot have lost and everyone's happy in the dressing room. Of course, you're in your right to feel like what it is. I think the Ronaldo situation is different because he exposed just more than just the fact of what was going on in the dressing room.
He exposed what we're talking about.
Yeah, he spoke about the structure, he spoke about everything, but where it's our club, it's like he gave ammunition to the world, where really and truly he could have just said, you know what, I feel like this is the next chapter. But maybe because we was emotionally tied to the situation at the time, and him leaving, we went on to, I guess, be a bit more successful without him in that season. But the truths were there. The truths have been there for a while, and I think like there's a reason why a lot of players they probably don't say exactly what it is. Pogba said the same thing when he left as well about the mentality. So I'm saying, just to basically my argument and how my stance on United right now. Yes, of course, the owners. The fact that they're not footballing owners, they don't want to invest in a football club, they don't make football decision is an indication. I believe that there's a very lazy mentality with our players. It's like, okay, we'll go again the next game. There's no real actual accurate plan to execute to make sure that mentally we change the way we are. And I think also with Ten Hag as well, some decisions that he's made have been very questionable. We're talking about Varane being one of the best defenders in the world, or previously being one of the best defenders in the world, and you rest him for Johnny Evans with all due respect.
And he said for tactical reasons.
Then Amrabat is
man.
a defensive midfield player. We have 3 number 10s on the pitch at the same time: Eriksen, Mount, and Bruno. Where is the defensive understanding? Or
no, he took off Amrabat for Mount.
Yeah, but that's my point though. That's what I'm saying. Put him back on. So I just think that right now, there's not an understanding or cohesiveness in that team, and it's showing game by game. We played the worst football out of the top. We're
one of the easiest teams to play against in the Premier League.
I interviewed a Premier League player. I'm not going to say who it is. And I asked him, I said, bro, how easy is it to play against Man United? He goes, nah, it's very easy. And that's a Premier League player who's talking about the fact that in the midfield, it's so easy to have control. So the money that we spent the most money on our midfield, and there's still gaps there.
Yeah. That's down to the signings. That's down to the recruitments being made.
Everything right now, man.
To also support what we were talking about in terms of the structure of the football club. Pep Guardiola, a tweet by Mr. Romano. Pep Guardiola, when asked the Man City success, says, "We are in the same direction. Me, the CEO, also the sporting directors, the chairman. That's why I think the club is so stable."
Exactly.
No, 100%. You've got to get that right. You have to get that right. Every top club have it.
The thing is, everything else is pretty much irrelevant. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like everything we're talking about, tactics, managers, players. It pretty much goes out the window
But should we be that? My thing is listen. If we're saying to win the league, cool. Of course, without a structure and stuff, we're not going to win the league. We're probably not even going to finish second. But to the point of how bad we are, there has to be some accountability of what's going on the pitch. I don't think we should be this bad. Now these players, bro, we've got our attack have scored 1 goal between 7 man. Like last season, we only scored 58 goals in the league.
Okay, so
there's patterns here, bro.
I can't lie.
I agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like we're not going to win the league. We know this, but. Come on, man. We shouldn't be getting bopped off the park. We shouldn't be getting bopped off the park by Burnley. We shouldn't be letting Copenhagen run riot. Do we say?
Let me check mathematically.
Bro,
honestly, I just think we shouldn't be as bad as we are. And when I'm listening to Ten Hag in press conferences, when I'm listening to him speak, he doesn't sound inspiring anymore. He doesn't sound like he has his way. Bro, we're losing these games. Go on.
Just ask the question. Why do you feel like we shouldn't be this bad when it's been the same thing for 10 years? What makes you feel that way?
Because, bro, no matter what, you're right. You look at Villa's team. You look at some of these teams that are around.
Look at the structure. Look at the club.
I hear it. But you look at some. No, but even go to the bottom half. Yeah, Brentford. All these type of teams, right? How many of the Brentford players would you take into our team? Not many, right? I'm just saying we shouldn't be easier to play. It shouldn't be easier to play against Man United than Brentford.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be.
I agree.
Come on, like our team. I don't rate these players, by the way. They're all average, but Brentford players are average. I'm not saying Brentford players are world class, but we shouldn't be this easy to play against. We should not have an attack of 7 man and only 1 guy has a goal. And that's 1 goal. Not even like he has 9 goals. He has 1 goal. We have 1 goal between our whole attack. That's the issue with us on the pitch. That comes down to accountability of the manager.
My personal opinion is that we should be that easy to play against. We should.
You think so?
Yes,
you believe when you walked into this season, you thought we will be this bad.
I think it's it's in our best interest to approach things that way. We should be because of this. I think
do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, I think you're thinking with logic aside. After 9 games of the Premier League, of course, now you say
because it's been 10 years.
But after 10 years. After 10 years. But hear me out. After last season, brother, what we achieved with a situation where he picked us up from. When Oli had lost the club, so to speak, we felt like re-energized. He was giving us like that motivational speeches, and things started to change. We felt like we was going to play a different type of football. We was watching these diagrams of the triangle passing and all of that other stuff. I haven't seen none of that here. So for me, it's like the basics of football, or his football, so to speak, are not being implemented in our team. That then makes me think, recruitment is definitely an issue because
Recruitment,
the players,
mentality.
I've always said this. It's something like I say this all the time. In any walk of life, mentality is very key, but you need to be able to listen to directions and follow them wholeheartedly. If I trust my manager, if I trust my brethren says to me, walk down that road. Even if I don't want to, I'm going to trust you because I believe that that's how our relationship is going to be stronger. I'm going to believe you. In a relationship with my girl or whatever, if my girl says to me, babe, listen, I think we should do this, I'm going to trust my girl because that's how it is. If I start to think, you know what, I don't want to do it, I want to do it my way, then things change because this person has a direction and I need to follow it. Our players, if you put our 11 on paper, with Brentford's 11, with Brighton's 11, you're picking ours. Yeah, but if you watch them with your eyes, you're picking Brentford.
You're bringing Brighton.
Do you know how mental that is? That's a juxtaposition because it's like we should be, but we're not. Why is the reason? There's so many reasons. Mentally, we are a weak-minded bunch of human beings, bro. When we go 1-0 down, you can see body language is fucking key, bro. We don't look like we're chasing the ball. For example, Bruno will do this little run, put his hands up in the air, and
that
like,
guy.
And for me, I don't care. Like, bro, Bruno's that's my guy. But I will tell my brethren in his face if I think he's doing bullshit. Garnacho doesn't pass to you. He's younger than you. You go like that and wave your hands, What do you think that does for squad morale? We saw last season Sancho was telling him to shush. Like, there's Rashford, if he doesn't get a pass, he's been waiting for a pass. You see his hands in there. I don't see that at City. What I see at City, I'll see at these big clubs is, you know, it's calm, don't worry, we'll go again. Let's move. Because it's like, that's how it's supposed to be. So mentality is key. They're not listening to the manager. They can't be. He can't be training a team during the week. Then they go out and do nonsense, and then he feels like he's got control.
But the thing is, though, what's annoying about that is that, all right, if the players are not doing what you want on the pitch or whatever, but there has to be some form of, if every single time you come out in the press conference and you just say, just maybe if we got a touch right there or we took this chance, the game would have been different. Maybe sometimes you're going to have to come out and shield these players. Listen, it may sound like I'm rating these players. I don't rate these players. But you may have to come out and be like, that was on me today. You know what? That was on me. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. But every single time you come to the press conference, you think Ten Hag coached a masterclass, bro, and we were just unlucky. I'm like, bro, what, are you watching the same game as me? Yeah, we executed the plan perfectly. In the first half, it was brilliant, and then we just lost our way a little bit. No, bro, you're watching a different game to me because the whole match we were poor. It was not good enough. Like, I'm not only talking about City, the majority of the games, and I don't like that. He just comes out and he doesn't kind of take accountability. It's everyone else's fault. It's this guy's fault. It's this guy's fault. Oh, we didn't do... He's never just like, listen, hands up. You know what I mean? Pep Guardiola sometimes says, that was on me. That was on me. No matter what we lose, that was on me.
But Cam, do you feel though, because I agree. I 100% agree. But do you feel like, this is my view on things, I feel like sometimes he may be like, you know what, guys, in training it's gone really well. In 10, 15 minutes of the game, we're playing well, then we lose it. Maybe he's right sometimes. Maybe he is right. Maybe we are just not that team that can control our minds enough to say, you know what, we got to keep going. Leaders. Now, there's been quotes about Bruno Fernandes not being captain. Roy Keane said it. I think Jamie Carragher said it as well. Like, sometimes, your best player your captain doesn't have to be your best player. Your captain has to be someone who it galvanizes the team. Like John Terry, for me, was obviously one of Chelsea's best players for a while. But then even when he wasn't, he was still respected because it's about him behind, like in the dressing room. About
Gary Cahill is a good example. He wasn't one of their best.
Gary Neville, bro. These players, even when they fell off, their mentality never. And I think that, like, 100%. If I see my captain, the person who I'm rating, flapping his hands and being ineffective in the game,
and then falling on the ground, and then trying to injure people.
And then it's like, bro, how am I supposed to be inspired, especially if you're one of the most senior players?
100%.
Someone like Varane doesn't talk too much. He leads by example, bro.
And this
is what I'm saying. It's like if you've got one of those, and 10 other players that are not like that, the imbalance is going to be crazy.
And I feel like it's what you just said about the court of Varane. He leads by example. The fact that principle is consistent in all areas of life is what qualifies people like ourselves to talk about football like with a true perspective because man's qualified. Because the man's
day-to-day life is I'm on job,
bro.
And I have L's that happen to me every day, but I don't sit there and point fingers.
The best type of leader,
get it fucking done.
The best type of leader is someone who leads by example. And even
you're getting I need to do. You're getting paid hundreds of bands every week. And you're telling me that you can't just go for it for 90 minutes, bro. You play for Man United. Like,
the truth is that might even be part of what holds these players back in terms of giving it their all. Like it's like how can I put it? That's why I was talking about earlier why managing Man United is such a difficult task, because you got to find the motivations. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And even another insight.
Gets me mad.
I know it's true, but it's true.
Motivation.
Because these man, for some of them don't, bro. We care about Man United.
But you got to remember, this has been these guys' life since 6 years old. It's not as big to them as it is to us.
And we care about Man United more than most of the players. That's the truth. I'm sorry, that's the reality. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So another little insight that man had, not a little one, but I'm like, look, just knowing some of these players personally, and seeing and knowing what their backgrounds are and the family structures are, I feel like, I don't even know how to put it quite simply. I see a correlation in, strong mindsets in footballers with ones that had, older male influences in their lives, i.e. father or big bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Look at Jude Bellingham.
I see a real correlation because let's put it this way. I believe that in general in the family household, generally speaking, the woman's great gift is nurture. You know what I mean? They had the child 9 months, want to keep it soft, protect it, etc. The wonderful balance is that then the man usually, provides that tough love, sets the standards, sets the challenges, sets the targets. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that balance is key. And I think you look back on, I was watching the David Beckham interview, and Ferguson was so interested and so, in terms of what their structure was, what their background is. Because forget the football, that gives an indication as to how the mind is set. Remember the word is mindset. How is the mind set? What are the principles? David Beckham's dad, hard work. Your old man, you was telling me, hard work, all of these things, no one's going to get it for you. All of these, you see all these lessons when you get them from young and they're set in stone, they're set in place. You don't lose them when you're 25, do you know? And these are the things that keep you grounded when the money's £300,000 a week. Do you get what I'm trying to say? David Beckham, the biggest celebrity in football history, bar probably Ronaldo or Messi, etc. He's getting cast out by Capello, but he's training every day and working his way back into the team. Why? Because of the fundamentals that he loves football and the fundamentals of how he's been raised. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So to be fair, maybe you could say maybe in defense or just putting myself in the shoes of some of these players, who some have been raised by super women, single mothers. If you've had to do it, kudos to you, credit to you. If you didn't have to do it, maybe it's not such a great thing for the child. But it's like, how if I've never been challenged by a authoritative male figure when I'm on 300 bags a week, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I can't process this situation. Who you talk? You understand that? Even let's look at even like the Brazilian stars of the past, even them, like talent is one thing, but even them to get to the top, you see Ronaldinho is big bro's his hero. That's his agent, someone to keep him. You know what I mean? Kaká, Neymar, all these. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I know Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he was basically out the team. He was basically on the transfer list pretty much, but I know that his old man and his big bro are there, and that's a mentality thing. He had a mindset to work and train as well. Harry Maguire, mindset.
He said, I'm not going. I ain't going,
But you get these young stars with beautiful talent, you get what I'm trying to say, but they don't really have, their mind isn't set in a certain way to deal with what's required when the talent ain't enough to now be Ilkay Gundogan. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Who you see pictures of him and his old man and his woman and his mum. You see Jude Bellingham's situation. You see Jamal Musiala's situation. You see, do you get what I'm trying to say? And then it's the ones that I empathize with, and it's like, bro, maybe this is something that football clubs and need to be more interested in to kind of support these young players from an earlier stage so that they have a better chance of being champions. Look at Declan Rice, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, look at the attitude and the mentality of that young kid. Of course, he's gonna have a great career.
Facts,
I have no doubt, So
like going forward though, like how can we? What's gonna change? What does Ten Hag need to do to change this up? Because at the end of the day, the transfer window's closed. At the end of the day, the Glazers are here. It's not going to change. Only thing that can change is him doing something on the pitch. What can he do? What big decisions has he got to make? Because maybe some people are going to say he tried to make a big decision with the Varane thing, but personally, I don't care who you are. I know for a fact, and I was even speaking to, I saw Saeed's video as well. You see Varane not in the lineup, going into the Manchester derby with Johnny Evans, Lindelof left back, and Maguire. The whole fans, top Reds, by the way, who never want to turn on the team. We're going to lose 4-0. Yeah. We're going to lose 5-0. Yeah. We're going to lose. You think the players ain't thinking this? Yeah. You think the players walking in and if Varane's not on the team sheet, they're like, what?
Yeah. And I guess Varane, maybe that affects your relationship with him.
Exactly. And then when you come out and say tactics, for me, that's a bit, I don't know. But so what does he need to do? Because as you mentioned, Bruno's not performing. Bruno's antics are, you've already gone on it. It's incredible what he's doing on the pitch sometimes, yeah. Marcus Rashford. The thing that confuses me, right? The stuff that confuses me with Ten Hag is you signed Anthony, obviously, you signed Mount, they're on the bench, right? You brought in McTominay. Why? Because McTominay scores goals. He has been scoring. He's been a goal threat. In the last 2 games, you've taken off Amrabat at halftime to put McTominay 6. Yeah. The only reason McTominay is in our damn team is because he was a goal threat. What is he going to do at 6? What is he... How can you get behind these decisions?
Do you know? My only look, my United fans will probably get onto me for this, but my only interest in terms of Scott in the 6th was that second half against Copenhagen. I just noticed something. Who was at the game, and I just noticed that. Okay, players like I think 2 players come to mind: Matuidi and Rabiot in the France team. Not the most glamorous players. The kids ain't dying to buy their shirt. You know what I mean? But I feel like the ground they cover in that area in the midfield allowed Pogba to have a greater France career than Man United career. Obviously with Kante as a destroyer. And what I just saw in that game, what the work he was doing that was probably unnoticeable to the everyday fan, allowed Eriksen to absolutely put a man of the match performance in 40 minutes.
But this is what I'm trying to say. I think Ten Hag does. Ten Hag has been stumbling into things. This worked today. Okay, it's gonna go. Maguire's on a little bit form, so now he's gonna drop Varane. Like this is the type of stuff that Ten Hag done. I don't think he's coming and been like, "This is my idea. This is my plan." Do you guys really think if Calvin Phillips came in for them 4 games that Rodri was suspended for, and even played 10 out of 10s in every single game, do you think Calvin Phillips would have started the day Rodri's fit?
But this is my thing.
No, bro, he's not. He's stumbling into things. I'm with Cam's, it's getting on my... Bro, -5 goal difference, lads. 11 goals.
Hey, it's really bad.
50% of our games we've lost. And I said it before, if we continued 50%. On this pace, 50%. We will lose 19 league games this season. We're on course, on pace, to lose 19 games in the Premier League this season. We're losing 50% of our matches, lads.
Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade, yeah. Ten Hag has made shocking decisions. Shocking. Like, that you can't justify it because they're the decisions you've made and the results have happened because of what you've done, yeah?
Shocking?
Bro, 50%, brother. Come on.
People are saying 50%. Injuries. People are saying injuries. All right,
yeah. Let's
Luke Shaw? Don't give me Luke Shaw. Don't give me that Luke Shaw is transforming Manchester United.
So Luke Shaw and Bissaka. I don't want pressure on those 2 boys for them to be the real Wendell.
But the thing is, Dallo was
played in certain games as well. It's not like he's been missing the whole season.
Bro, Luke Shaw, Lissandro,
half the games he's missed, I'm sure.
Luke Shaw, Lissandro, and Wan-Bissaka played against Spurs. They played against Wolves. They played against Arsenal. In each game, we should have been battered. So it's not like, bro, since in pre-season, our second unit looked better than the first team.
And our best game we've played this season was Crystal Palace, 3-0. So this is my view. When you ask me what Ten Hag should do, play the players that are playing well.
I was going to say this. Oh, my...
No, but it's not even that. But play the players, yeah, that you have a direct idea for what you want to do with them. Don't play... 1 second, one player's a possession player, this guy's a rattle battler, this guy. But play the players that you want to play in a certain image. Like when he said he can't play the Ajax football, I'm not saying play Ajax football, yeah? But we have players in our team, on the bench or whatever, that, okay, they can play a little bit more possession style. Or if you just want to go gung-ho, we have players that can do that. Don't just mix it up in between. 2 games. He played Hannibal for 2 games, yeah? We won both games. He said Hannibal, this is exactly what he said. Hannibal is an example for the rest of the team with his attitude, his mentality, and his intensity. We ain't seen Hannibal since. what the fuck?
See, this is why I say Ten Hag has made shocking decisions, because that for me, you don't go out and like, you want players that are gonna buy into what you are training these boys to do. Hannibal, Palestri, when Diallo comes back from injury, Kobe Mainoo. These are young players. Garnacho. These are young players that genuinely need to develop, and the only way they're going to develop is if they're playing football. If you're telling me that we're going to keep playing Rashford just because he scored 30 goals last season, when in all fairness, he didn't play incredible. He was just a great goal scorer for us. We need players that are going to go beyond to go and try. One thing we loved about Hannibal was that he's sticking his foot in for a tackle, trying to get the ball back and trying to create stuff.
I like Hannibal a lot.
Kobe Mainoo played in under-21s the other day.
Kobe
He looked like it was a joke. He looked like it was a joke for him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, Amad Diallo, obviously, he's been injured. So my thing is, when you've got a fit team, in all fairness, our Man United haven't been, we've been destroyed with injuries. But I'm trying to play the players that I know are playing well, not the players that I feel like are going to play well. We've signed Reguilon. Why are you not playing our favoured left back in a derby game? You put Lindelof, who's right-footed, on the left-hand side. Doesn't make sense.
To end up bringing Reguilon on anyway.
And then to bring him on anyway.
Well,
like Mason Mount, you buy him, and okay, cool. Injuries as well, but you haven't even given him 5 games to play.
Mason Mount must be absolutely disillusioned with what he was going on the pitch. He's played right wing, he's played 10, he's played 8. He's just been thrown. He has no idea what he's doing.
He's a good player, bro.
He has no. You can see on the pitch, bro. He's the definition
with the right
now.
attitude. He has the right attitude. He's got the right mentality.
He's the definition right now of I'm just running around doing anything, because he has no clue. Look, he goes on the pitch, he looks clueless, bro. Mason Mount looks clueless on the pitch, and that's not even his fault. He's a good he's a Champions League, a key member of a Champions League winning squad. I'm not out here to say he's a world-class player or anything like that, but at the end of the day, Ten Hag brought him in to be a cog in a good team. But so far, he's not even utilising him. Now, man's not really got a plan. He hasn't started the last 3 games. One of them, he didn't even come on. One of them, he got 3 minutes. And the other one, he got 45 minutes. So in the last 3 games, Mason Mount played 48 minutes. Come on, bro. Like, this is your £60 million signing when there was people like Mateus Nunes and there was all these guys on the market that you said, no, Mason Mount is my priority signing. And now we don't see him on the pitch. This is the stuff that I can't get behind. Like, the structure and stuff, the tactics, but your 8 signings, the players that you sign, should dictate the way your team move forward.
Going back to a man's point, Ten Hag shouldn't be doing these signings basically alone.
But he is.
My problem is that's the clubs. That's our issue as a club, bro. Pep Guardiola's City, when they went to the Arabs come in, they got the guy from Barca straight away. We see how important David Dean and his relationship with Wenger was. We see David Gill and Fergie. We've seen all Edu. We've seen he's got seemingly good working relationship with Arteta, with a shared vision. Like I said, bro, like with music, bro, there's bare sick producers. Football, bare sick players. But if I get an executive producer and we have a shared vision, I've got a better chance of getting the right producers and the right beats. If as a manager, as a club, I got a manager and the right setup in terms of recruitment, directors or whatnot, we've got a better chance of getting the right players. They're all good. Most of them are good players we signed, but it's just we don't know what the right player is because we're just signing footballers. It hasn't changed. It's not Ten Hag.
But we're signing to no identity.
Bro, Falcao and Di Maria. We've been doing this. Nothing new.
But the thing is,
there's nothing new, bro.
We're signing to no identity. And listen, Ten Hag himself said he wants full control of transfer. That was one of the key things for why he joined the club. Now, to not misquote him, he did say, I don't want to be the sole ruler, but I need an increased responsibility in transfers. So let's not, we can't just take it away from him. He came to his club knowing I'm going to have more responsibility to sign players than I did at Ajax. Now, is that the right way to manage a club in 2023? Probably not. So that's where I hear it for the owners. But is it not worrying for you guys that this is the manager's ID? This is the manager's vision for the team.
For me,
that's the thing. Because let's not get it twisted. Arteta didn't get all his first choices. Arteta wanted Vlahovic. Arteta wanted Caicedo. Arteta wanted Mudryk, and he had to be like, all right, I'll get Trossard. I'll get Jorginho. He got Declan Rice in. It was still his vision. Arteta was all over Declan Rice for like a year. Do you know what I mean? So was and while he was doing that, Ten Hag was over Mount. So like we can't say like Arteta's vision is still what's driving Arsenal for their signings. Yes, Edu is there. Edu's been the one helping with Martinelli, Marquinhos, some random Marquinhos. I think maybe Gabriel. I can't remember, but you know the Brazilian ones and stuff. Yes, that is all Edu. But some of these signings that we're seeing, like Declan Rice and Trossards, and these are Arteta signings, bro. Do you know what I mean? Gabriel Jesus. Zinchenko, let's not forget, he wanted Lisandro Martinez. He couldn't get it. He came to Man United. He got Zinchenko. These are still Arteta signings, bro. We can't just act like Edu is signing.
And that's why I say,
everyone. Ten Hag's vision for this club
I feel
is
like
strange.
the players, that's why I said the players that he's brought in, the ones that have Malacia,
back up to Luke Shaw. Can't even get into. He can't displace Luke Shaw.
He's signing.
Yeah.
Anthony's he's signing.
Yeah.
Lisandro Martinez he's signing. Onana's he's signing. So those 4 signings, I can only name 2. I can say that because Onana's just started, so we can't even get onto him straight away because obviously the last 2 games he's done really well for us in essence. Yeah. Lisandro Martinez injuries, but he's been one of our best players. Yeah. The other 2. That's your signing.
And a lot
so
of
it's like if it's like for me now, yeah. If I go and buy a fucking I don't know, if I go and buy phones for you guys, yeah, I'm saying trust these phones and they don't work. You're gonna blame me because it's me that I bought them phones for you guys. I told you that these ones are the ones.
Yeah.
But then if you say to me, listen, here's a phone that I feel like will work well for what we're doing here in the studio. Use these ones and they work or they don't work. It's not my fault. It's literally I benefit or I don't benefit from it. It's the same with football for Ten Hag. So that's why I say, bro, your signings are a mess. But then I also hear your point.
It's never been different.
But it's like, bro, we genuinely. This is why I say in the beginning of the episode, what I said was the club. We don't have the infrastructure. You just mentioned about what Pep said. I've got a good relationship with the CEO, sporting director, and everyone else. It works. Ten Hag has been thrown into the Lions then, yeah, and he's done well for the first season. But you can't continue like that. Other teams are developing. Other teams are working.
Were we lucky last season? Was it a false
Can I be honest
reality?
with you, yeah? Can you name
remember
me?
when we finished second under Oli and Jose? I was kind of like,
can you name me?
That was a bit.
I don't want to be harsh here, yeah.
Do we deserve?
You need luck in football.
Yeah,
Even
can I
to
be
a
harsh here, yeah?
degree, you need it.
Do you
remember-
Liverpool and that falling off Spurs?
Do you remember? Yeah,
They're woken up now. We're now fighting top 10, bro.
every game that I feel like we won, yeah, that was lucky last season. We beat Arsenal 3-1 at home. I don't think that we should have won that game. We went back to the Emirates, we lost. Man City.
I don't know why it hurt when you said that.
Yeah, we beat them 2-1. We went home 6-3. Liverpool, we beat them at home. Went back to theirs 7-0. So my point is, yeah, when you look at last season, bro, yeah,
it's a bookie season,
it was
bro.
one of those seasons where it's literally like raw. We got there, and even towards the end of last season, it was a fight for us to finish.
We fought for it.
we fought for it.
I came here and said we're not making top 4.
We couldn't actually. I remember Flex was here. And Flex was like, if we don't get here, we're a mess. So for me, we paved the cracks and we done what we needed to do last season. And this season, the cracks are unraveling. Yeah. And it's showing now that, bro, it's going to get so much worse before it gets better. So my view is that, you know, Champions League, for example, we're winning 2-0 at home. We're winning at home to Galatasaray. We throw it away and we lose 3-2. Copenhagen, if not for the simple fact that Andre Onana didn't save us, we lose that and we're out of the Champions League. These are moments in football that define whether or not a manager stays, whether or not he has the team, whether or not we're going to do well in the season. Yeah. I can't actually guarantee that we'll win against Fulham on the weekend.
Even the thing that only thing that Glazers have shown consistently is that if we're out of sight for the Champions League or we don't make it, they'll sack the manager. Yeah. Now I'm not saying that's what I want to happen.
I don't want to either.
But that's the only situation that we know. So right now it's going to be fine. We're still within reach of a Champions League position. But later in the season, if it keeps going, because you were talking about the we still make money. We'll be making money regardless, but that's the only time we take a massive hit is if we don't make the Champions League. So I think that's
even
the
then
only
we stay top 5. I've never seen us come out of the top 5 in world football. Never seen it.
That's why there's no pressure for them to leave.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Lastly on it, like, you know, crazy. A lot of people be talking about Ten Hag wanted these type of players and got these type of players, which I can understand, but some of them players, Harry Kane, look, let's be realistic. That's a quite unrealistic transfer. That's 130 million potentially that you're going to be giving.
Bayern didn't pay that.
Yeah, but Daniel Levy to Man United, it will be different. So we know that's kind of unrealistic. Frankie de Jong, I said it on camera. He wanted Frankie de Jong, bro. Everybody wants Ice Spice, right? Everybody wants Bernice Burgos. Everybody wants all these Instagram models. You ain't getting them. He didn't want us. Frankie made it clear week after week, I do not want to join Man United. I want to stay at Barcelona. So we cannot be saying, oh, but he wanted this player. that's like me. That's like us turning around right now and saying we want Mbappe, and then when we don't get Mbappe, well, Ten Hag wanted Mbappe. He did not want us. We wasted a summer chasing Frankie. So when people are saying, "Oh, we wanted it," no, we wasted time chasing Frankie. From the first 2 conversations, yo, brother, Ten Hag, yeah, you used to manage me, but this is the club of my dreams. We should have moved on. We waited until we lost 4-0 to Brentford to be like, Casemiro, yeah, come on. This is still
that's not a player that we essentially wanted.
And then people are saying,
a player that we ended up getting because he was probably like, you know what, this is the end of my Real Madrid tenure. I want to find something new. And reports that he wants to leave now and go to Saudi. So again, bro, like this club, the way we run things, the way we are as a business, I'm so happy that Jude Bellingham, when he came to go and meet Man United, his dad said, allow me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the situation. So, and you know what? Credit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because some of the players that he's initially wanted us to buy, they're now players that we're considering as world beaters.
Yeah.
But they probably saw, this ain't right.
It's a dumping ground.
It's a dumping ground. So it's just mad to see. This is now going to be the like in 10 years' time, they'll do a documentary, The Demise of Manchester United. And I guarantee you a massive part of it will stem from the beginning, the top of the club. And it will look at how players stroll into the club and, you know, like little things, like little off-field things that happen, bro. Like even down to like when Mourinho and Pogba were having a little tiff and it's like it was recorded. Why is that making
the news?
Why am I seeing that on my phone? That's the problem with Man United, and we are the most big. Like in terms of news, if anything happens with Man United,
it's almost like it's the problem and the blessing. The problem is that why am I seeing that? But it's because we're so massive. Yeah, the club is huge. That's why coming into manage Manchester United. It's not just about football, bro.
It's a lot more.
You're managing you're managing young kids, bro. 300 bags a week, bro. Bro, it's like how, I don't know, you look at Brighton, they can lose Casado and look the same. They just have their structure. The structure is just, they know what the vision of this club is. This is what we do. This is how it is. And then all the players that come in, I'm sure it's not hard to motivate them because they all have a dream of going to Real Madrid, going to Man United, going to all these places and getting that big move and really changing their family's life. Man United, this is the big move. You get what I'm trying to say? You're a mega star, bro. Every touch you, and plus, you got the pressure of every touch you do is on a magnifying glass, bro. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like being a Man United goalie, for example, is probably the most scrutinized position in football history, blood. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's difficult, man. Like it's like it goes back to human principles of motivations, incentives, etc. All these things is what I feel like is the real issue at Man United, because I hear everything we're saying about Ten Hag. I'm not in disagreement, but
there's more to it.
It's been a decade. All this in terms of the signings, bro. Before Ten Hag, I can list 10 to 15 signings that also didn't make sense. You know what I mean? Just the same issue. But it's like, I believe it's the top down because there's money at City, but there's owners that actually want the business to have a good football performance. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Listen.
Like, look at for example, just to add, like even like look at PSG, for example. They're not over the years. They ain't made football decisions, but they just Messi, Neymar. They're not make. It's not about the football, bro. It's about
glamour.
It's not about it, and you haven't had the success that you wanted to have. You know what I mean, when you go back to when you respect the principles in any field, bro, as the Arabs have done at City, as you know, Arsenal have done over the years, Newcastle owners, you're gonna get your rewards. It's just how it works in all fields, in all endeavors, bro. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the major issue at Man United. Nothing that's being said about the players of Ten Hag, I believe to be untrue. But the bigger picture to me is always the most important image. You get what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear that.
Let's just take a brief.
Let's move on from Man United. You know what I mean? Let's move on. Other stuff.
Okay, it's time for me to go there.
Other stuff has happened this week. Ballon d'Or.
Yep.
The Copa trophy as well that Jude Bellingham won. But firstly, let's talk about the Ballon d'Or. Quickly, do you think Messi deserved the Ballon d'Or?
Personally,
here's
how I'll put it. I'll never disrespect Messi because I believe he's the most special footballer we've ever had, and I can't see anyone ever being better. You know what I mean? But what I would say is if the roles were reversed and Messi won the treble and Haaland won the World Cup, Messi will still win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
And you know what? Liban said something incredible on SDS. He said, strip the names. Player A, player B. Player A is one what's Haaland won.
Simple.
Player B is what Messi won. You're picking Haaland. I just think when you look at Messi...
But does the eye test matter?
I think
Does the feeling of the game matter?
And that's why I say Messi deserves to win it, because I feel like what he did in that World Cup every single game, his influence was mad. It was mad. It was very mad. And the World Cup for me is the most hardest trophy to win, because it's a group of countrymen rather than teammates that you play with weekly.
And that's not even peak Messi.
Yeah, it's not. This is literally, I watched him, I was there. And he genuinely wasn't running a lot. As soon as he got the ball, it was crazy.
Mental.
I just think with Haaland, his end product is outrageous as a goal scorer, but as a player, I don't think it's enjoyable.
Yeah, of course not. No way. No way.
And I think if you're looking at what, I don't know how the Ballon d'Or is run, if it's by a governing body or if it's run by players' views.
It's just coaches' votes.
Coaches' votes. Then I think people will look at Haaland and be like, well, if he doesn't have his supply line, it's sort of thing. But then let's not joke, he's an absolute freak when it comes to up front. So I think he'll definitely be hard done by. But what Messi said was literally, guys, I'm bowing out. Now these are the players that are going to go through with me. It's going to be Mbappe, and it's going to be Haaland, and it's going to be Vinny, and it's going to be Ballon. So now I think we've seen the greatest era of football in terms of Ronaldo and Messi going at each other head to head for these Ballon d'Ors. I think between them it's what, 13.
Unbelievable.
13 Ballon d'Ors. So
for me, I think Ronaldo will always be my favorite player because of what he's done for Man United 100%. And everything. He's given me my greatest moments as a Man United fan.
100%.
But Messi is the best player ever, I think he didn't even need this Ballon d'Or to confirm that.
No.
But when you look at what he done in the World Cup, there was always everything that you felt like might have been missing from Messi's career was that kind of World Cup, and he gave us an all-time campaign. It's one of the best. It's probably top 2 World Cup campaign that I've ever seen. So I think when you just look at Messi as a whole, the era has closed. It is the Messi and Ronaldo era, as they'll say, but there has to be only one winner. There has to be one person that, in every sport, you have kind of like an undisputed GOAT or whatever. And I think it's just confirmed that it is Messi, bro.
Like Messi is the best player ever. And personally, I feel like even debating whether he is or isn't, it's a little bit strange to me. It's like, are we watching the same game? But then I feel like Ronaldo is such a GOAT.
Yeah, of course.
That you just, if you're going to say Messi, you still have to just say he's a GOAT. Like I look at Ronaldo as an example to all men in all walks of life on what it takes, like what is possible if you put your mind to something. Yeah. I don't look at Messi like that. I would believe Messi, he's just something.
It's like an alien dropped into his world.
It doesn't make sense. How do you explain that? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Even when you hear about how he trains and how he is, it's like, that doesn't work for anyone. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But Ronaldo is just such an incredible sportsman, like just everything, bro. Like and even like the goal scorers now, Haaland's scoring a lot of goals, but I don't like when man put him in the same sentence as Ronaldo, because the amount of goals, I see some stat about how many goals Haaland would have to score to catch up to Ronaldo, but it's not even just about that. It's about the types of goals: 30 yards, 40 yards, left foot, right foot, header, right leg, boom, and not even just the types of goals. The amount of match-winning goals, Champions League final goals.
Clutch moments.
I see Ferdinand talking about when we needed to win the league against Fulham, bro, in his own half. Ran the whole length of the pitch and we win the league. That is being the difference in the biggest moments. It's different.
Ronaldo,
let me just quickly say this. I've got a quote here from Leo on his rival with Cristiano, The journalist said, "You have now won the 8th and you have 3 more than Cristiano Ronaldo, So as the competition over goes, it was an epic competition between brackets. Athletically, he was very good, and I think we benefited from each other because we are both very competitive, and he also always wants to win over everyone and everything. I think it was a very beautiful period for us and for those who love football in general. What we have done all this time is very appreciable because, as they say, it's easy to reach the top but difficult to stay. We stayed at the top for 10 or 15 years. I'm not sure how many, and it was very difficult. It was very difficult to continue at this level, and I think it was a great thing and a beautiful moment for everyone to enjoy football."
That's not. Do you know what Ronaldo did?
What?
He laughed.
Is it?
Because somebody they put that, and then there's somebody that basically saying that FIFA's corrupted and Messi should only have 5 Ballon d'Ors and it's all a scam. Ronaldo commented on it with laughing faces.
Yeah, but you see Ronaldo deep down, hating. You know Ronaldo deep down, let's be honest. Ronaldo is all, I think, with anyone. Like, I was listening to something 21 Savage said the other day, he goes, as a man, I believe that if I go into the room with Mike Tyson, I feel like I can beat him up. Bro, it's just a mentality.
And that's why
that's part of why he's
and that's why he is the way he is. But I think even he will look back and say, damn, that guy was next level.
Bro, like, you got to deep it. goal scoring wise, Messi is up there with the best you would ever see, as in putting the ball in the back of the net, finishing, X factor, assists,
big games,
dribbling ability,
finals,
big games, World Cup, finals, eye test. There's nothing that Messi doesn't have. And when you talk about football, you know what I mean, like the beautiful game and what you imagine football to be, Messi is the perfect description of that. That's why he's the best ever. And this is what I'm saying. Ronaldo is amazing, like, and is next level. But Messi is the epitome of football for me, and he's just different. He did that at 35. He did that World Cup campaign at 35.
He went into Miami and was playing football in the park.
It was like a story that it was a story written for him, and he delivered it. And I just think, listen. Like, again, it's not against Ronaldo. That's my favorite player, but Messi is
and you know,
ever,
me
man.
personally, like, Ronaldo is so great that, you see what you just said. I'd rather say Messi the best player ever, and and Ronaldo is out of this world, bro.
Yeah, Ronaldo's out of this world, like, for sure.
And, like, you know what I mean? It doesn't. Messi being the best player ever.
It doesn't take away from.
It takes nothing away from Ronaldo.
Like, and I think for someone that's for these guys, for these kind of stat fans that, you know, watch football on Twitter, like, even to them to go, this player is the highest scoring ever, or amongst highest scoring ever, and the highest assistant player ever. In Messi is enough to even for them to understand that.
Listen, I saw a video the other day on Twitter, and it was goals that they scored against each other.
Yeah, that was it.
There was a period where I think Messi was winning by 8 goals. That's the periods where he was winning the Ballon d'Ors because he was genuinely, absolutely outrageous. We've never seen anything like this before. But the fact that Ronaldo was still able to take Ballon d'Ors away from him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, because if not for Ronaldo, my man would have 13 Ballon d'Ors.
Is there a player in history that could have done that?
No, we've never seen, I think,
Ronaldo's unbelievable, bro.
Other than in tennis, which is an individual sport, we have never seen rivals go head to, like, obviously there's Djokovic, there's Nadal, there's Federer.
Djokovic was a bit later than Nadal and
there we go.
And Federer. And even then, he was like, I'm here to disrupt everything.
We've never seen two people, like, people compare Jordan to LeBron. That's completely different era. We have never seen two people go head to head like this before. And this is what's crazy. And this is why I hate, is when now the new gen are kind of just like, oh, it was never a rivalry. That is what annoys me. That's the only part. That's the only part of Messi having 8 and Ronaldo having 5 that I don't like.
It should be 7-6.
Thank you.
It definitely should be 7-6.
30 years. People are going to look like, oh, man got 8. And
it should be 7-6, bro.
That's not a rivalry.
It should be 7-6.
If you were there, you were there. And listen, they gave us great time. But just to close that bit up, obviously, as I said, that was the closing of a chapter. End of an era, fully. Ronaldo in Saudi, again, my man's into Miami. Well done. You guys go sail into the sunset. Enjoy your life. Who do you guys see as the future ones, though? I saw Mbappe sitting there.
I can't lie.
I think Mbappe is the best player in the world. But you have to deliver, though. Yeah, you know what I mean, as long as you deliver.
This year, Euros is coming up.
I think France there's a good change now that's happening right now. I think there's a lot of great French players. I think you have to just build a team around Mbappe.
Yeah, literally.
What you saw in the World Cup final,
that, bro, come on,
hat-trick. That's enough to show you that it's not for the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been a joke. The fact that he even made it a game,
and he's won a World Cup already,
is a mad thing.
Like, he's the unique player in football.
Yeah. I think he's going to go to the moon. I think the difference between him and Haaland is that internationally, Haaland is never going to win the World Cup because Norway don't have the type of players that France have. But I think as long as Haaland stays at Man City or if he goes to Real Madrid, it's going to be the conversation for the next future. But I also think there's other players. I think we've got Jude Bellingham that's making a lot of noise right now.
There's talks that he could win it this year.
I believe.
If England go far in the Euros,
I believe though. There's another player. I think if Jamal Musiala comes to the Premier League,
Musiala is disgusting. Do people know how cold he is?
He should stay. He should stay at
Bro, do people
I don't think he should come to Premier League.
No, but I don't think
Man City.
I don't think you get the plaudits in German football like how you do. Like I don't remember the last player to even win a Ballon d'Or even be mentioned.
Yeah, like
Leo was trying to take
goals over there.
I think Leo was doing a mad thing over there. I feel like the Premier League and Spain, I think those are the leagues. And I think that's where I think the bias comes into this.
Yeah.
I think someone like Vinny needs to really kick on. I think he needs to have. I think he's got the attributes there to really be a problem. In the Premier League, I don't really see anyone that I feel like is
Haaland.
Apart from Haaland, I don't really see anyone that's like of that nature. But we have. It's going to be a next. We've got next 10 years.
You know what I think people are sleeping on?
Who?
I think Harry Kane can win the Ballon d'Or. I think Harry Kane this season, bro. You man are laughing.
Okay.
You man are like, all right. Remember I told you, man.
Okay, no, but okay.
Harry Kane can win the Ballon d'Or this season.
Okay, this season, yes, because this season he started it off in a madness.
And England can go far in the Euros.
And
Bayern Munich, you should be looking at a Champions semi-final at least. I think.
The only way
he wins. 15 goals, 7 assists in 13 games.
I feel like for the good of football and for the good of the Ballon d'Or, which man grew up on the Ballon d'Or as...
What are you saying? You don't see Kane there?
Man grew up on the Ballon d'Or as being the prize that goes to the best player in the world.
Yeah.
The player that as a kid watching football, bro, man, you just admired the Zidanes, the Figos, etc., Messi, Ronaldo even. So for the good of that history and that tradition... I feel like it's up to Mbappe to give us the level that we need because I believe he's the unique player in world football.
Agree.
He'll get the numbers, but he's the player that out of nothing situations in big moments has the most possibility.
Let him go to Real Madrid.
He'll win a Ballon d'Or easily at Real Madrid.
Mental.
Mbappe, Rodrigo, you got flipping Jude there.
Mental. Let Mbappe go Real Madrid.
Allow me, bro.
Mental. He's the unique player in world football.
I just want to say that was a therapeutic session today from the boys. I think Manchester United, we love you dearly. You continue to break our hearts. We will never leave you, but we always have to speak up about what's happening in our lives. Old Trafford is a theatre of dreams, but it's been a theatre of nightmares. But when you wake up from a nightmare, it's no longer a dream. Jesus Christ, that bar was crazy.
This guy thinks he's meek.
Nah, I'm not meek.
The man is lyrical miracles still, 100%.
That was good.
Hey, yo, what we got? We dropping lyrics out here. I ain't got none though. I ain't gonna lie.
No, man. You poetry
lyrics.
emotion, man. 100%, man. Definitely.
That's what it is, though. You're the culture, though.
Yeah,
100%. And the cam's capturing it.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, listen.
Went over your head.
What did you say?
I said you're the culture and the cams are catching it.
Nice one, mate. Nice one.
Bro, that went over your head and he wasn't capping for real.
Still,
that went over your head like a lob pass.
No. Now he's pushed it, man. He's pushed it now.
No, that's not Vince.
No.
Sorry. So we got into wordplay, man. And I got to play with the words.
I'm speechless.
That's less speech.
All right, guys, listen. I've been Harry Pinero. That's been Cuts and Cams. The boy Avelino. Let us know in the comments how you feel about our opinions on Man United and obviously the opinions on the Ballon d'Or as well. It's good to be back, man. Let me see next week, actually Wednesday, I'm actually going to be here because...
Look at this, people.
No, I'm just letting you know.
Look. He's going to do a hat trick. Look at that.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, he's here. Until Wednesday, he's not here.
Oh, right.
And just to add as well,
yes,
you know, I know we're in a bad situation, but Manchester United is and still will always be the greatest football club in the land. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's factual for the
Manchester. Fair enough.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Please, when you watch this video, just like it. Please, I'm begging, bro. Like it, share it, comment. Even if you write 50 comments that don't mean nothing, I don't mind. Algorithm. See you guys next week.